Right.
Yeah, you already
I
know.
love it. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started soon. It's gonna be live on Facebook, YouTube, um, and Soul TV's Roku channel as well. And then I say YouTube?
I think so.
Okay. All right, making sure. Okay. All right. All right, stand by. We are getting started.
All right.
Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocki. Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocky's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon.
Hey, welcome to Rocky's Reality. Happy Thursday. Happy almost Christmas and all of that good stuff. I want to welcome to the show tonight. Just really honored to have your presence here, brothers. So, and definitely want to give you your kudos and your flowers. So, welcome to the show, you all. Performance poet, author extraordinaire, just dope ass individual all around, Jay Ivy. So, I'm doing a little
What
the
it do?
little sound effects.
Yeah.
Usually, if I was in the studio, my guy would do my pew pew pew. So, welcome, Jay Ivy. Thanks for joining me.
It's my honor and a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah,
Rocky.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Really glad to have you. And actually, as I had to remind myself, I was like, we spoke earlier this year for Billboard during I believe it was National Poetry Month, which was April.
Yeah.
So welcome to you. And I see you just been jet setting all over, been in London at the Color Purple premiered, Renaissance.
Yeah,
I
we've been,
mean,
been on the move. Been on the move.
I love it just all around. And then I love I wanted to probably show that clip a little later how you tapped in with Natalie Stewart, the flow assist.
Yeah.
Another dope ass creative individual, and you were there for her Florvarex. Is that
Yeah.
did I pronounce
Uh,
the
uh,
Florvarex ninth anniversary?
flow vortex. It's the flow
Flow
vortex.
Vortex. Right, thank you. I was like, let me okay. I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
you
So
got
it's her 9-year anniversary. And she's been doing this event for a minute and really just building a culture for like this really super dope poets over in the UK, over in London. And so Tari, she was like, you gotta be there. And I was like, yeah, I need to be over there. So popped in on it. It was a super dope moment. Super dope moment. Yeah.
I love it. So it's a spoken word theater,
It was a
Florvarex.
Well, the event has moved from different venues. So she said this was a new space that it was at. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I forget the name of it off top, but in the past it's been in a theater, but this was more of it was just this really cool, beautiful vibe, like it was like a restaurant upstairs. It was just a really dope space in Peckham. I know I was in Peckham, which is South London. Now that
Okay.
part I know I was on the south side of London.
Okay. Are you from the south side of Chicago?
Yeah, from
Okay. Okay.
south side of London. And
Let's go. Let's go. From the south side of Chicago to the south side of London. Okay.
yeah, so we out in these streets. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I wanted to let me just show the clip right quick because what was the piece you performed? Because that piece was That was hitting me here. I that's why I had to put on my sweatshirt. It's just dream like Malcolm, lead like Harriet. Well, excuse me, dream like Martin, lead like Harriet, and fight like Malcolm. I said, let me put on my sweatshirt because I mean, you just give me those just activist vibes all the way every time. And just every time I hear a piece, I'm like, he is like really saying what's on our minds.
That's
Like all the
love.
people know, any Black person know, like, yeah, he's talking about us. He's sharing our experience, sharing our words. So I just want to give you kudos for that, Jay Ivy. And I really just what you're doing is just profound. It's poignant, it's profound. And I love how you are you're a cultural creative, how you've shifted things. And so what was the piece that you performed?
So the piece is called "Be Cool," and I actually did a new version of it on my album, "The Poet Who Sat by the Door." The last record is called "Pass the Plate," with
Mm.
features Lettucey and Music Soul Child. So I took part of "Be Cool" and did it on "Pass the Plate." So, but yeah, "Be Cool" is the piece in its entirety.
Okay, and so right quick, we're gonna watch a clip of that so we can, because I want to break down a few things you were saying in there. I was like,
Okay.
he said it out loud. He said it out loud, y'all. He told it. He telling it. So right quick, we're about to watch the clip from when you went and celebrated with Natalie, the flow assist Stewart. And let me just say, I was just talking to I don't know if you know Brandon Williams. He's a producer, singer, songwriter, Grammy nominee from Detroit. And I was telling him like there's been he was talking about how he has a song with the young lady Jean Baylor from Jean A. And I
Yeah,
was like, man,
yeah.
ain't no duos been out like that except for Floetry.
Right,
I was like,
right.
like a duo that was just so cohesive and just so talented. Um, I just, so let's just get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Big shout out to Gene and Marcus, my brother Marcus Bailey. Yeah.
Right. Right. And her partner Renee as well. Yeah.
Yes. Peace to the poets. How y'all feeling? So I had to be here. This is it's an anniversary, it's a celebration, it's a birthday. This is something that's so needed, it's so necessary, so important to poets, to the culture from UK and beyond. So it was important for me to get on that flight and make sure I was here to celebrate my sister, the flow assist. Make sure I was here to, y'all give it up for her. Come on now. Y'all give it up for y'all. You know, it was important to be here to celebrate the poets. There's so much power in our words, so much power, so much energy in our words. And we affect people in ways that would never really know. You know, every now and again, you'll get a story or two about how a poem touched someone. And it goes a very long way. So wherever you are in your journey, your walk, make sure you keep going. That's the key. Keep going, keep writing, keep performing, keep putting that good energy and that love into the world, because as we can see, it's so needed. So needed. They judge you before your eyes even open. Off jump, they coming for your throat before words even spoken. When you touch down, you gotta let them know that you get things in motion, but be clear. They feel your dedication, they feel your devotion. They love and hate your skin tone. Treat you like an immigrant when you've been home. Bronze like the pennies the brother Abe owned. Envy is the drug that they own. Every breath I take is a hit. Cause we're striking like the ancient Egyptians they clone. Our people are beautiful, down to the bone, down to the soul. Control is the goal. We in the city of God cause the slums is all they want us to know. And they think we ain't know. Thought you was just street smart. Can't understand how you come up with this street art. Didn't understand they was dealing with men, women, mothers, fathers, 2 years. Some of ours slipped through the cracks, but the ones that we put nothing above, the way they look up to us, man, that's beautiful. Fly like the saucer's being flown. Yo, they tapping your lines, so use your thoughts to iPhone home. Send moms a highlight tape of this twilight zone. We're extraordinary, extraterrestrial. ETs got them uneased. Now they building space stations trying to police the ozone. Oh no. They trying to protect their borders from illegal aliens visiting from other worlds. We were sent here by way of God's referral. Peel back our skin and see our light. Peel back the legs and see our fight. Get high off life. Rest your head on the cloud. Dodge them chemtrails. If the walls could talk, they tell they wouldn't want to walk in our shoes and listen to the tales our Tim's tell. Came from the heavens, now we dwell in hell. Enslaved by a country that still hates me, wants me in jail. Discriminates against us, want to hold us down, man. We too profound. That's why they want us to behave. Show us how they feel with 12 years of slave. Media hop on the field and they run they plays all day. They say and replay that you a thug, you a all he wants is our women, our gold, our figures. Ain't nothing but an animal with his claws on the trigger. There's a difference between brands and labels. They invite you to the table, try and label your brand, change the beat of your band, or orchestrate the land with your hand. Man, the challenge is staying balanced. Never too high, never too low. Stuck in the middle with a mean ass flow, a mean ass show. I see you, sis. I see you, bro. You can move any room, work any crowd. They can't quiet your loud, so keep feeding them and feeding them. It ain't black versus white. It ain't rich versus poor. It's wrong versus right. And what's right is that the babies keep eating and eating. You ain't never been a fool, so just remember to use your tools. Be you, and no matter what they do, always remember that you go be cool. Nah. I love my land, but they ain't always loyal. If they are, why they got a patent on the seeds and the soil? Soon it's gonna be rain and oil. Results from America growing up spoiled. The wheels falling off, the springs are uncoiled. Who needs change when we gladly enter the net? Jail cell signals killing the bees. I guess we next. The monster is a machine. They seen the jail for killing dogs where they shoot little black boys and girls. Things ain't what they seem. I sleep with a pen in my hand so I can write my dreams. This is my inception, the words of my reflection. I don't need runways to model me. They say he off beat. I'm a poet. The beat follows me. Get up, I get down.
Listen, so many gems dropped in that.
Man,
like, how did it come to you? I need to know the process. Like, kind of give us a little bit of insight of how it comes together, because I love how you, as a Black man, you are an endangered species in this world, and to be able to have this platform in the way you use it, some of those things you said in there, you hipping us to some stuff too. Talking about the satellites and the oil right now. I'm like, oh, we hipping us. Because I was just reading how they're destroying some stuff over in Chile for the 2024. They're destroying a coral reef in the ocean so that the 2024 Olympics, they can build this like station for the judges. And it's just so many different things like that going on in the world that we're not privy to. And of course, we know the racism is there. So what propels you? Like, how does that come together, Jay?
Man, I wish I had a very profound, complex answer. But
I heard you say you keep the pen to write your dreams. So I'm like, what is the method to the madness? Like, how does it do? It just flow out of you? Like, you see something on the news or you see a movie? Like, what triggers your metaphors and just all of that?
Yeah, I really just I quiet myself and I listen and it's really the spirit just talks to me. God, the ancestors, they flow through me. Um, I'm listening to what's happening in the world, so that's a part of, that's tied into my subconscious. And when I sit down to write these things that I've observed over time, or at the moment, they just kind of tie into the storytelling. And it's a lot of times where I write things and I go back and look or listen, and I'm like, man, that wasn't me. Like that,
Mm,
like that wasn't me.
mm.
Or a line will just pop in my head, and I'm like, oh my God, that's cold. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cold. I mean, that happens a lot. I'm always amazed that the gift continues to show up for me, and I'm given these gems, these words, these lyrics, this poetry, in a way that reaches people, and um, raises awareness, and makes us conscious of what's happening. They say, to be aware is to be alive. So for me,
Mhm.
the poetry is a tool to help keep us aware of what's happening to us, as a people, as a culture, as a world. So again, like I wish it was a complex, and then
That's okay. And that just no,
win,
that
and I combined the win with the with a teaspoon of sugar, and then
right.
all that,
Right.
and then
It
but
just no, it just shows that it's truly a gift because and when you said the gift shows up, that reminded me. I was just watching the Thriller 40 documentary,
mm,
and they were replaying an interview from Michael Jackson, and he said this is not me, this is God at
yeah,
times. And that's how I feel too. Like when I'm writing an article and I'm typing, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. It's just flowing through you.
yeah,
So I really appreciate how you sharing your gift and you're when I said shifting the culture, let me just run a resume down a little bit for
mhm,
folks who may not be aware. You're the first African American poet to represent Chicago on Russell Simmons' Deaf Poetry.
mhm,
Also, two-time Grammy winner.
mhm,
The Light Inside Your Current album. That's your seventh album.
yeah,
So not only did you won two Grammys, you've
mhm.
won a Peabody, a Clio, NAACP. Also, you created the best spoken word or best poetry. Is it best spoken word category?
Best spoken word poetry album.
Best spoken word poetry album category with the Recording Academy.
Mhm.
And then you're also the president of the Recording Academy chapter in Chicago
Well,
as
I
well.
was president.
What?
I'm a trustee now, national.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And so just running down, folks also don't know you were the narrator. Some might know that you were the narrator of Genius, the
Oh no,
Kanye West.
no, I didn't narrate Genius.
You didn't narrate it? Okay.
Well, I wrote the narration.
Okay, you wrote the narration. You weren't
I
speaking
wrote,
it, but you wrote
yeah,
it. The words were coming from you.
yeah, I
And then
wrote
also,
voice
yeah.
acted it. Yeah.
Okay. And just so with so many accolades, what has been one of the sweetest moments? I know the Grammy gotta be like up
Oh,
there. And you not and congratulations, nominated for another Grammy.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, everybody check out The Light Inside. That's nominated right now. Super excited about that. Amazed, like just like, oh my God, like the dream it just continues to grow. I mean, as far as like, I mean, there's been a lot of highlights. A lot of highlights. I got some highlights happening right now that I can't speak on
Oh,
quite
okay
yet.
now.
But I mean, even just looking at the year, not just the year, but the season that I've been in from. This is my third year in a row being nominated. 2 years back, I was nominated with LeVar Burton, Don Cheadle, Dave Chappelle, Mia Suleiman, Barack Obama, and Jay Ivey. So to stand
Yeah.
next to
I love it.
this class of history makers was absolutely incredible. And then didn't win that year. Well, I mean, it was a win to be. It was all a
To
win.
be in the group, like just to be in the room, listen, to be at the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We didn't bring the Grammy home, but the following year, this earlier this year, my album "The Poet Who Sat by the Door" was nominated and won for that. And I mean, that really winning the Grammy was very surreal, and it it was a huge reminder of all the people that have helped along the way. So
Mm.
that was such a sweet moment because I was able to, pay homage to my city, Chicago, my hometown, and pay homage to, my wife, Tari Teray, who's been just that rock solid, um, uh, ride to live, ride and live, who's always encouraged me and pushed me. Then I was able to pay homage to my English teacher, Miss Argue, who was the first to push me, who first to make me do a show, and that happened February '93. My first time ever on stage performing was February '93 for a
30 years ago.
30
Wow.
years ago for Black History Month show.
Okay.
So February '93, I do this show, and then February of '23, I'm bringing home
Wow.
a Grammy for poetry.
Mm.
So it's been a
That's
lot.
divine order.
Yeah, it's so divine. This the mayor of Chicago gave me a day. So my birthday, March 3rd, is J. Ivy Day in the city of Chicago.
I love it.
Um, I've been at the United Nations performing. I've done stuff for Beyonce and Jordan, and like
Prince,
Prince. Yeah, got
Deepak Chopra.
yeah. So it's been a lot of moments. One of my favorite moments, which is ongoing, is having the opportunity to go back into the schools and
Mm.
and holler at the kids and
I
just
love it.
just get them some words of encouragement, perform for them, tell my story, and let them know that it's possible. I had a chance to the Obama Foundation. They have a new series that they're doing in Chicago at Hyde Park Academy, and I'm trying to think of the name of the series, but President Obama was the first speaker. Um, Michelle Obama was the second speaker, and they had me as the third speaker in this series. So to be able to go back and and what I love the most is you go to these schools sometimes, and they'll give you a warning or disclaimer like, look, man, some of these kids, they some of the wild bunch, they might not listen to too much, just bear with them. And
Mhm.
I get there and they like,
Captivated.
yeah, just complete silence,
Yep.
hour, unless they have a question or
Mhm.
curious about something, or they clapping, or just showing love. Like it's just it's really beautiful to be able to go and connect and be reminded of me being that very shy kid,
Mm.
you're a kid, that kid that lacked confidence, sitting in the classroom, and then here comes this teacher or this a leader in the community saying, "I see something in you,
Mhm.
and you go do this. I'm gonna encourage you to do this." So to have the opportunity to pay that forward is the best feeling. The best feeling.
I love that. And and that's proof that representation matters.
Yeah,
Because they probably never seen a black man like you doing what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. I hear it all the time. Like
I
even
mean, they hear rap and hip hop, they listen to hip hop, but it's a different way that you're presenting it to them.
yeah, I meet people all the time still, and they're like, "Oh, so what you do?" I'm like, "I'm a poet." They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So what you do?" I'm like, "I'm a poet." "Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that, but what you do to make
What
money?" I'm
else you
like,
do?
"I write poetry." Like that's. I know it sounds odd. So to be like you said, to show that representation, to be an example, to give them something to aim at. Because while I'm working on being a better version of myself, I want them to be better versions, and take the art somewhere where it hasn't gone. So
Mhm.
if I'm
Yep.
able to do this now, it's like, okay, what you gonna be able to do with it in the next 5, 10, 20, 30
Yep.
years,
Yep.
so yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to do what you love to do, then
Mhm.
see it.
And to
Uh,
get paid for it.
yeah, I make my living. I make my living. I put they say like you write like your life on the line. That's how I make my living. I put my life
Right.
on these lines. So
Right.
it's absolutely it's a dream. I sometimes I listen back to interviews or conversations, or I turn on the TV and I see me, and I'm like, man, to be, or I'm walking in the rooms with, last night is Color Purple with, my brother Bliss Bazawule. He directed that, and I'm on the carpet
Mhm.
with him and Deion Cole and Oprah
Mhm.
Winfrey and Steven Spielberg and Tyler Perry, and
I love it.
and then last week I'm over in London at Beyonce's Renaissance screening, and hollering at Jay-Z and Will I Am, and it's so to be able to walk into these rooms and know that what you're amongst your peers, like to be recognized as a peer in these kind of rooms,
Mhm.
it's something I don't take lightly.
Mhm.
It's a blessing.
Being from the South Side of Chicago.
Like we put in the work for it. Like even going back to that Grammy moment, like thinking about all the love that my mama and my daddy and my grandparents and family and friends, they all poured. Folks was just pouring into me and encouraging me and telling me like, yo, you man, you good, you great, you have a gift, you dope,
Mhm.
keep going. Like to have all this, encouragement, to put a smile on my granddaddy face uh when I wrote a poem for him, and he would always just crack a joke about it, for years until he made his transition. Because it was a part where, why it said something about, this wise man once said, to keep on keeping on. And whenever he see, man, I'm that wise man. I'm that, so like,
Listen.
like
Yeah.
it don't get no better than that. It's to be able to share that love and do what I love. It's fun. Like again, like I don't know how the words end up on the page, but when it's there, when the words are there, I'm like, oh wow, that's incredible. And then I lock it in and then take it to a stage, and then to see people respond to it the same way I responded to it, it's dope. It's a blessing.
I love that. And I like how you said keep going, because creatives, and me myself, I have to say as a creative, at times I struggle like, okay, I'm gonna keep going though. Let me keep going. And some days you want to be like, fuck it, I don't want to do this no more. Like the struggle, because you know how you at times it's how sometimes that doubt comes in, and then sometimes just life be life, and sometimes so it's good to have that encouragement and showing each other how we persevere, how we go through. And one of my favorite lines is you said, we don't fold like chairs when triggered by our trauma.
Wait, did I say that?
Yeah, that was on that. What that's that on the
You know,
that's on the album. I want to say it was towards the end. I want to say it was Winning or We Living. One of those you were like I said, I wrote it down. You said, we don't fold like chairs when triggered by our trauma.
that's cold, but I don't know. I don't think that's me though. that maybe
You
I'm
don't remember?
who
You don't
said
remember?
that?
You
Yo,
did. You said it. You said it. I was okay. I wrote it down because I was listening to the album. And I said, wow. And I love and shout out again for a masterpiece. Your
thank
beautiful
you.
wife, Tari Torre.
Yes,
And I
yes.
see that's why it'd be surreal. I do that sometimes too. When I write an article, I read it. I'll be like, did I?
No, I don't remember. Maybe Malcolm said it because Malcolm Jamal Warner's on that record on We Live.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. And like I said, it was towards the end of the album, but I just was taking some little pieces out.
Also on
Um,
Winning. That so you talking about Winning.
It was towards the end of the album. It might be lightning in a bottle though,
Oh,
or it might be winning. One of those. Because I know Legend is the tribute to Muhammad Ali, right? That's.
Ali and Jordan. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. I
You,
love
you
that.
was listening. You was listening.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do my research. I do my research. Actually, I don't just be like, oh, the album is great. No, I actually be listening.
Yeah,
And like you, I'm a storyteller. So I'll be listening to certain things pop out to me, especially as a Black woman.
yeah.
So I got a few faves. Of course, I love Legend, We
Mm,
Living, Thank You, and Come Back to Me. Those
yeah.
are my faves because I love how you and Tari was a little, it seemed like y'all was kind of, that's why I was gonna ask, like, um some of these songs, are they, of course, you all just vibe off each other and inspire each other?
Yeah, absolutely. So come back to you. It was that's so first and foremost, that's a track that DJ Jazzy Jeff sent me,
Yes,
which
yes.
is just I'm still just blown away by that. So
Shout
Jazzy
out to him.
sends this track, and he actually the title of the track was "Come Back to You." I was like,
Mm.
oh, that's the song right there. I'm listening to
Mm.
like that's the song right there. So I came up with a melody for it, and then Tari she hopped in and her voice is so incredible. So she added that angelic soulfulness that she
Mhm.
always comes with, and it was just this beautiful exchange. And then I wrote the poem and just fell in love with it. And then with thank you for being a friend. That was PJ Morton.
Mhm.
PJ, 5-time Grammy Award winner.
Listen,
You know,
another
you know,
icon for
yeah,
real.
New
For
Orleans
sure.
own. So he actually produced a joint on on the Poet Who Sat by the Door as well. He produced oh man, I'm tripping. It's the one Tari singing. Let me look at it. I'm tripping.
Right quick. Let's bring it up. We can bring it up on the internet right
Yeah,
quick.
I just got off the plane. Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
I don't.
Hey, like that
Right.
boy don't know his own. I know it, but
I know, and that's why I was saying. I listen. I'll be jotting stuff down too. But while you
oh,
while you look,
learn your lesson.
learn your lesson. Okay, I
Learn
love it.
your lesson. So PJ he produced that joint, and then so I hit him up about this album about the light inside, and he sent me thank you. I was like, bro, this is perfect.
Hmm.
This is perfect. So
Wait a minute. Um, how did Malcolm Jamal Warner get on there? I didn't know Malcolm Jamal Warner was a poet. Like, what's
oh,
happening with that?
yeah,
Like Theo, what's going
yeah,
on? How you get
yeah,
Theo on there?
man. Malcolm he been doing poetry for a minute. Like
Okay, I was today years
decades.
old. I was a couple weeks years
Oh
old.
yeah, yeah. Nah, he been at it for some decades. And I mean
Okay,
he a beast with it. He's so dope with the way he put his words together. Then he got a band, he plays the bass. So
I love it.
yeah, he rocked, his poetry with the band. Super dope. So I hit up uh like when it comes to like collabs, I'm really again listening. Like I'm like, okay, whose voice can I hear on this record?
Mm,
And I wanted to make a point to feature poets on the record because you don't often see poets collabing,
mm.
at least on record. You may see it on stage, but on records, I want to see more of that. On um on the Poet Who Sat by the Door, I got a record, Lay Down, yeah. They want you to lay down, yeah.
Mm.
They want you to stay down there. It's time to get paid now. We want our, we want our, we want our reparations. So I'm like, man,
Mhm.
who can I get for that? And then Ursula Rucker came to mind.
Mm.
Rucker, Philly's own. A lot of people know her as the poet who did. She would always close out the Roots albums.
I
So
love it, and I think she's part of Black Women Rock as well.
yeah, so she
Mm.
oh well, you probably talking about Jessica Care more, but she's definitely rocked with Jessica for
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She's been part of her lineup. Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Ursula is iconic. I remember being in college listening to Ursula on those Roots albums. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Like, and she was one of the blueprints.
Mhm.
So Ursula, came to mind. Amari Hardwick, who everybody know him as Ghost, and all these iconic films.
Right.
But I first met Omari doing poetry. He was one of the poets on the LA scene back in
Oh
the
wow.
in the late '90s. So I've been
Oh
knowing
wow.
him since those days. So like Omari, bro, like yo, I hear your voice on this. Can you rock? Yeah, I got you. So he sent the joint. So what what this record what we living, I'm trying. I'm like, man, who can I get on this joint? The Flow Assist, man, Flow.
Baby.
Like,
Yeah.
yo,
That's one of my favorites.
yeah, I'm
That's
like,
definitely one of my faves
yeah. So
on
she,
there.
yeah, put that London twang on there.
Hmm.
J. Cole said, peace, Jay. Peace, sis, how are you? It's like she put that twang on, and then I was like, man, who else can we get? And we just trying to think of who can we get on the joint that fit we felt the voices would flow well together on this particular record. And Malcolm Jamal Warner, bro, yo, got this record. Flois is on it. She about to lay her verse. Man, you feeling it? Can you do it? I got you, bro. And he sent it right back. So so yeah, it was just a matter of just reaching out and just asking, and man, everybody been just showing love and bringing their genius to the table. So I'm like super grateful.
I love that. And so, okay, so a little bit, if I could ask, Tyree Torre, how long have you all been married?
18 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And she
We all
is
we all
horribly underrated. Her voice
oh man.
is like, I got a girl crush on her voice.
Listen.
So I'm gonna need you to, if you can, put a plug in. If I can, I need to have her back on the show because her voice is phenomenal. Like, and I love how she just brings that energy to the tracks that she's on, and it's just like you all are in sync. It's just so like in sync. Like, how is that you all create together? How do you all decide on, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna come in there? I mean, you just complement each other so well.
Yeah, well, Tari one is she's a superstar. Like she is one of the most incredible singers I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. She's so underrated.
I swear I'm not being biased. Like we met. That's how we met. We met. Me fall in love seeing her on stage and like, oh my god. And then I got to hang out with her and then date. And then it's like this woman is just huge, beautiful heart. And then you get into the music. So even with Tari, like I had one of my guys back in the day wanted me to do a poem, do an interlude on his album. And then the track he gave me, I came up with this hook. So I'm driving the Tari crib and this hook popped in my head. And I was like, why don't you have a talk with me so I can show you the sights that I see? Why don't you lend a thought to me so I can take you to places I be? Why don't you take a walk with me through this abstract mind, state of mind? All right, so I come up with this hook. I'm like, oh, that's cold. So when I get to her crib, I'm like, man, Tari got this hook. I was like, I need you to sing this hook. I'm gonna do the poem. And then I sang it for her. And she's like, no, you need to sing that. I was like, no, I don't, like, no, like, I ain't no singer. She's like, no. She's like, you sound good singing that.
Yeah, you got some pipes too.
You should sing that. I'm like, nah, come on. I'm like, stop playing. She's like, I'm telling you, you should do it. So then we ended up doing it together. I sang it, and then she layered it, and it was our first time recording together. And it was like the voices together it was incredible. But her ear, like she has this ear, and a lot of people, her story is crazy too. Like she got this beautiful, incredible history in politics, but then she started singing, and then she went after only singing for like 7 months. She ended up on this 55 city tour. Then she became a 6-time Apollo winner. She was on Kanye, like on Kanye's first album. A lot of the vocals you hear throughout the album is Tari Torre and John Legend.
I love that.
So Kanye would have Tari like recreate the samples, like the female samples, and then he would have John Legend recreate the male samples. So, but she sang on Family Business, Never Let Me Down, Heard 'Em Say, We Don't Care, Jesus Walks, Spaceships. Like you hear her vocals, and then she was on John Legend's album. She co-wrote the last song on his album, Live It Up. So I don't know if you remember Live It Up. We can go crazy. So she wrote
that first album is classic still to this day.
She's like, no more. Yeah, like no more going to the house, no more robbing Peter to pay Paul, no more going to my house to make a phone call. Like those are Tari wrote those lyrics, and you hear her singing in the background on it. So she's toured with Talib Kweli, toured with the Roots. She's Slick Rick's lead singer. She has her own albums, which are phenomenal. Go listen to Catching Feelings. You want to hear you want to hear some super dope music? Go listen to Catching Feelings. Go listen to In Time. She got records. Listen to what she's the joints we've done together. Like she cold. Like
I'm definitely a fan. I'm definitely a fan.
I ain't being biased. This is just like
It's all
being
good.
a fan.
Yeah. No, she's definitely a vibe. That's why I was like, oh, we got to talk about her a little bit because his wife is just like she dope as hell too.
Yeah,
I
I
love
did her.
that.
I did half her interview for her. Like, but no, definitely bring her on here.
Listen, that's okay. No, because we can have other stuff that we can
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about. We
yeah,
can
yeah.
have
Because
other
she's
stuff.
gonna drop some gems for sure.
I love that. So, how would you describe your evolution from your first? Because this is your seventh album, The Light Inside. How would you describe your evolution? Because the poet who sat by the door was, I don't want to say more militant, but it was definitely not as The Light Inside is a bit more ethereal and a bit more, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe soulful, and poet sat by the door was a bit more like intentional, like, look, you got to hear this. That's how I perceive it when I'm kind of comparing the two. So, but how would you say your sound has evolved, and how do you say like, okay, my next album is going to be about this? Like, because I know The Light Inside is in a way a follow up to the poet who sat by the door. But how do you decide like this is the direction I'm going to go on the next album? Or
Yeah, it usually starts with like a theme. Well, it'll start by just creating, like just working on different records. Like people will send me stuff, and then I'll have poetry, and I'll have folks like create music to the poetry for the poetry. So I'll just create, but then in the midst of that, I'm like, okay, what's the theme? What's the theme? What's the theme? Like what story am I looking to tell? What story am I looking to tell? So even with going back to like uh catching dreams, like catching dreams was, I always describe my poetry as like I was explaining earlier, just looking to like listen. I'm listening, and then my job as a poet is to catch as much of it as I can, like catch these thoughts, these ideas, this poetry, catch these dreams. And then I felt like though the music, like Brooklyn Rain and I Can't Go and Fall Don't Trip and Ride Out and Stop Complaining really spoke to me catching these dreams. Off in Chicago, catching these dreams. So then when I got into the next album, start creating, and then we had records like Running and Lay Down, and I'm like steadily thinking, like in the midst of creating records, I'm like, okay, man, what's the title? Like what's the vibe? What's the go?
and then you were in the midst of creating the category, getting them together.
Right. So then, and I kept cracking this joke while I was working on the category. I kept cracking this joke because I was getting information from the academy, and it was a lot of information that in my almost 30-year career, it was information that I hadn't known. I'm like, I'm just learning these things. I'm like, oh well, if I don't know this, is chances are other poets don't know this.
Right.
So I'm learning like about the submission process, and the fact that an independent artist can submit, and like albums I had, like I could have been submitting them all the time.
Right, exactly.
It was just knowledge, just being in the know. So instead of holding that to myself, I'm like, well, if I don't know, other poets probably don't know. So I started sharing that information with other poets.
Yeah.
And I kept cracking this joke, like, man, I'm like the poet who sat by the door, and I just kept cracking this joke. And every time I would say it, people would laugh. And then now I'm in the midst of working on the album, I'm like, man, that's the title. I'm like, oh, I'm the poet who sat by the door. Even though it was a long title, I'm like, well, it worked for the spook who sat by the door. That was a long
right.
So that's how the theme, it really helped steer the ship. It's like, okay, now I know where I'm going. And the same with The Light Inside. Like I wanted to after this year that I've had, like only reason that, well, I won't say the only, but the main, keeping the main thing. The reason that we're in the position that we are is because of the poetry, is because of the art. And for me, the poetry was always about, again, tapping in, listening, looking for that light inside, like looking for that love, looking for that, for the source, tapping into that higher self, and not letting the world, corrupt you, and bring your energy down, bring the vibration low. And so poetry was always to me a reflection of the light inside. And it was also it was a play on words because okay, now that the poet sat by the door, and now we done bust in the room.
We done open up the door. Let
Open
the
up.
light in.
We let the light in. Now we in the room. We oh man, like now it's
Right.
now the light is on us. Like
Yep.
there's opportunities. Like I said, I'm throwing out first pitches at ball games, and I'm performing at the United Nations, and I'm opening up for Dave Chappelle at the United Center. I'm performing. Well, this was before I won the Grammy, but I'm performing halftime at Madison Square Garden. I'm doing these different things. It's like the light is on us, the light is on me. But it's not about this exterior light that I'm looking for the light inside. When it's all said and done and time to move on, I'm praying that the light inside was exercised enough to make sure that my soul is intact and I'm good. So really that's what the light inside was. Again, it's a continuation of the poet who sat by the door, but it is that reminder, like back to basics, which is it's about the poetry and it's about tapping into the source and finding that light, finding that love.
I love that. And I love how your parents, I love how you talk about your dad a lot.
Yeah.
You obviously revered him, and I love how you had that. Obviously, you obviously had that old school upbringing, like a lot of us from our generation. What would be your advice? Because I'm glad with you going to the schools, that shows kids that it's possible of what they can do. Besides just play sports, besides just be a rapper, is something else that they can do with their talent. What would you advise to an aspiring poet who says, hey man, I want to be like you, I want to win Grammys, I want to get paid to do poetry? What would you tell them?
Well, first and foremost, you gotta sharpen your tools, and you do that by writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, and just continue to find ways to take your art in directions that you may not have thought of before. So it's developing your skills, it's developing your gift. Like you have this greatness, so it's on you to grow that greatness. So write, share, perform, hit the stage, rehearse. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. And then you just, like Marshawn Lynch, say over and over and over again and over. And you just keep doing it over and over. And, you just keep doing it and you keep getting better. Like the version of Jay Ivy I am today, I want to be a better version tomorrow. I'm constantly trying to find ways to get better. I feel like I haven't gotten to where I want to be. And I'm far from satisfied. Like where we at, I'm grateful for. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I know it's the beginning. Like, I could talk 30 years. And I was talking about my buddy Stephen Hill about this last night. And Stephen Hill, he's actor. He people probably see him in Magnum PI. He's been in a bunch of joints, but he's in The Color Purple. So we're talking about how we grew up, and we had, there were people that we idolized and people that gave us goals to aim at and reach for. We had our heroes that we saw in films or saw doing things in the arts that just pushed us to want to do that too. And then
representing, seeing someone else, right.
And then now here we are those people to folks coming up, but
we the elders now in a way.
But then at the same time, it's like, I could talk that 30 years or however long anybody's journey has been, and usually when you're on a long road or a long race, or when you're in a marathon, usually you're tired at the end of the marathon. Like this has been a 30-year marathon. And it feel like I'm in the blocks about to take off. I don't feel like I'm at the end of the race. I feel like I'm at the beginning. I feel recharged. which in itself is a blessing to feel to have that energy, you know,
Mhm.
okay, man, man, we just getting started.
Right.
we just
Right.
we just getting started. Yeah, we got Grammys this now. Yeah,
Mhm.
you did that, but no, we just getting started.
Right.
You know, and I think
Yep.
that's a feeling that I would encourage anybody who's doing it, when you're doing it for the passion of it, when you're doing it
Yep.
for the love of it, it should always feel fresh.
Yep. Stay hungry.
Stay hungry,
Stay hungry.
stay
Like it, yes.
keep
Because
growing,
people, yes.
keep
Yep.
growing, you know, and I know you mentioned my pops, like my pops, he was somebody that so actually have a book called Dear Father, Breaking the
Mhm.
Cycle of
And
Pain.
you made it an album too, right?
Yeah,
That,
my
yeah.
daddy's records. And
Yeah.
so my pops, he was a DJ. I would hear him on he do, you doing
Listen.
what my pops did. And he did radio, and I would listen to him on air before I would walk to school in the mornings.
Mm.
So, I grew up in a home where music was very present, storytelling, the use of the voice and communicating and
Mhm.
connecting, it was present even though I was a kid. It was there.
Yep.
And even though the relationship that I hoped to have with my pops didn't pan out the way that any kid would hope for. When folks got divorced, I didn't see it here from my pops for 10 years, over 10 years.
Mm.
And then we reconnected, but a year and a half after we reconnected, he passed away,
Oh wow.
or he transitioned. But I've noticed that even the day he transitioned, which was November 15th, there have been very monumental moments that have happened on November 15th. That
Mm.
book, Dear Father, Breaking the Cycle of Pain, I was offered a book deal to write this story called Dear Father, the story about my relationship with my father. And that call came on November 15th.
Mm.
I helped, I create this category at the Grammys. And then for the first time in the history of the Recording Academy, 5 poets are going to be nominated at one time, first time in history. And that the nominations were announced on November 15th.
Wow.
Okay, all right, Dad, all right, Dad. So it's
Right.
like,
Right.
like I doors have opened.
Yep.
Deaf poetry happened not too long after my pop's transition. It's like doors
Mhm.
have opened. So I say all that to say, and going back to your question, like, what would I tell uh, younger poets or somebody, folks that's coming up? You have not only yourself, not only your own will, your own desires, your own passion, your own love. You have the ancestors on your side. You have angels on your side. There
Yep.
are angels that know your name, that will fight for you, that will open doors for you.
Yep.
You just it's just on you to stay the course, keep going, pay attention to the signs, and be fearless. Be fearless and be free. Be fearless
Mhm.
and free. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion. And I've learned this by my rule of thumb has been like, if I feel it, other people will feel it.
Mhm.
When I'm in the, just me, myself, and I'm writing something, and I write a line, I'm like, ooh, or I write a line, I laugh, or I write a,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I cry later on when I get on the stage and I perform the same place where I said, ooh, the audience is saying, ooh, same place.
Mm.
The audience is laughing. Same poem. When I cried, the audience is crying. So if I feel it, other people feel it, because we are all connected. So just be confident in your words, your work, your worth. Be confident in it. Know that if you're feeling it, other people will feel it too. Don't question it. And you do that, and you do it again and again and again and again, and you'll find yourself just continue to get better and continue to grow.
Mic drop for sure. Mic drop. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Seriously. And I need that as a creative, because I'm about to burn the midnight oil and finish
Yeah,
this article. So
yeah. I got some writing to do too. I got some writing to do too.
right. For us creatives, the weekend coming, we be like, it don't matter, because I'm gonna be writing. I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be working.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I appreciate you for joining me, Jay Ivy. And I just always like to end on a fun note,
yeah.
because we got to create our joy out here where we can get it.
Absolutely.
So wanted to ask you first, let people know where they can find you, where they can get the album. Let's get that out the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Twitter, or is it X? And Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram. That's the letter J_IVY, J_IV. On Instagram, X. I got a Facebook, but I hardly check it. J.Ivy Poet is Facebook. My website is j-ivy.com. If you go to my bio on IG, you can get my albums. The link to my website and my albums is there. The light
And
inside
also the article I wrote in Billboard, by the way, y'all.
is there. Link in the bio. But the light inside is Grammy nominated right now. Features some of the most amazing artists in the world, from Tari Ray to Anthony Hamilton, Sir the Baptist, Malcolm Jamal Warner, the Flow Assist, Jazzy Jeff, Terry Hunter,
Raheem Devon.
I just saw Raheem last night on the carpet at Color Purple. And then the poet who sat by the door, Dion Cole, Mari Hardwick, Lettucey, Music Soul Child, John Legend, Slick Rick, again, Tari Teray and Sir the Baptist. So dope, beautiful musics. That one won the Grammy. Light Inside is Grammy nominated. Catching Dreams was Grammy nominated. So check them all out. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.
I love it. Listen, let's get it all in. You said what?
I said, what's the fun note? You said you want to.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you some of your faves.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So favorite movie?
Star Wars.
Oh wow. So which one? Like the first, or
first.
We talking Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, or
the
original?
The original. I can't even think of the title. Hope. I forget the title, but. That first one, I probably know every single line in that movie. I know all of them, but Empire Strikes Back, I used to get so hurt because it took a minute for Return of the Jedi to come out. I was just I had those two on VHS.
So, baby, y'all Google it for those under 40. Google it with VHS.
Listen, but no, I love them all. I love Star Wars, my joint though.
Okay, favorite album.
Favorite album. Ooh,
besides your own.
Favorite album. Oh man, it'd probably be between Common, Resurrection.
Ooh. You took it there. I got that on CD. I got that CD in the basement.
Yeah, Common, my all-time favorite MC.
Listen, I love his fellow Chi-Town. I ain't mad at it. Yeah.
I love, Do You Want More by the Roots is one of my favorites. Illmatic is one of my favorites.
Ooh.
But then I get into some like Roy Ayers, Everybody Love the Sunshine and all that. Yeah, it's tough.
Classic.
That was tough.
Classic.
Like hip hop and jazz but R&B too though. So
I love it. Okay, so two more. Your favorite food.
Favorite food. What? Probably some soul food. It's probably soul food. It's that, so you can't go wrong with that grandma. That grandma cooking, even if your grandma cooking it reminds you of that. So I think it's just the whole nostalgia that goes along with the actual flavor of the food. Probably second would probably be Italian. I love it. I'm an Italian fiend. I'm a Mexican fiend. Give me something good.
Listen, all of that.
Something good.
We foodies. Okay, last question. Because you've worked with a gamut, like a plethora of people. I can't think of nobody you haven't worked with. But if there's anyone you could work with, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Jackson. See? That's why he the GOAT. He the GOAT. See, that's why I say he the GOAT.
Yeah, I really, as crazy as it sounds, I really felt like that was gonna happen. Like to the point, like I felt it so deep to the point where when he passed, I was like, like we ain't worked together yet. Like I felt like that was going to happen. I don't know why,
Right.
But I mean, the same reason I, work with all these other people was just a feeling that I had, and I knew that he was a huge fan of the College Dropout, so I know he heard "Never Let Me Down." Um, so it's just one of those things. But also, I would love. I've worked with her, but I would love to do a record with Beyonce, Queen
Okay.
Bee. I would
Yeah.
love. I would love to do that. I would.
I'm sure.
Oh,
Yep.
that'd be so dope.
It would. That is gonna be dope. We gonna claim it. I mean, it's coming. I mean,
Beyonce, Jill Scott.
ooh, Jill,
Uh,
baby. Cause I love when you had Lettucey on that thing. I said, ooh. Now
yeah,
Jill, cause she a poet too.
yeah. I talked to her about the album. We just ran out of time. It almost made. Oh, we was
The next one, we gotta
oh,
get
yeah.
her on the next one.
Yeah, so yeah, we gotta find the the record because she really loved the title track, "The Light Inside."
I love it.
The one
Right,
that's
because she had The Light of the Sun, I think was one of her albums or something. I'm trying to remember. Something on The Light of the Sun. Lord forgive me. Because Jill is in my top 5, baby.
Oh, I love
Baby. So I enjoyed you, Jay Ivy. I appreciate you for taking the time. What's coming up next? Anything we need to know coming up next?
Yeah, I mean, working on visuals for the album. We got a couple of short films that's happening. A few projects that I'm working on. I can't really say it yet, but definitely be looking for work from The Light Inside because we'll continue to work that. Still continuing to work Poet Set by the Door. I'm gonna be dropping next year. I'm gonna be dropping a deluxe album. So definitely there'll be things surrounding that. Coming soon. And I forgot to mention Gil Scott Heron. I would have loved to done. I did
Baby.
a show with Gil Scott once. I opened up for Gil Scott, but I would have loved to done a poem with him. Um, but yeah, that's just creating. We creating, and you may see some acting and
Okay.
some the music and some other things. You gonna see a guy out here.
Keep me posted. Keep me posted. Just keep me posted. Just know you a friend of the show. You welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And I'll write for a few other platforms too. So this is not goodbye. This is see you later.
Absolutely.
And again, I just want to give you your flowers and kudos and shout out to you. And I appreciate you. And thank you everyone for watching. And again, enjoy the rest of the week, Jay Ivy. And I look forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you. I appreciate you for everything. Appreciate you for the article, have me on the show. Much love to all your listeners and viewers. Much love to y'all. Y'all be easy. Always leave with love.
All right. Absolutely. All right. Have a good night. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.